Everyone may be seated. Good evening. At this time, we will invite the fellow assembled on the stage. As their name is read aloud, they will stand briefly. Please hold your applause to the end so that all guests may be properly introduced. First of all, I'd like to introduce the board member of Lincoln College Prep, Mr. Robinson. I would like to introduce the school board vice chair, Mr. Curtis Rogers. The school board members, Mr. Carl Evans, Ms. Patty Manser, Mr. Marisol Montero, Mr. Eric West, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Stephen Green, cabinet members, Mr. Darrell Davis, Assistant Superintendent of School Leadership, Mr. Lewis Gowan, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction and Professional Development, and Mr. Alan Timmons, Chief Financial Officer. The Principal of Lincoln College Prep, Mr. Joe Hessman. The Assistant Principal, Mr. Steve Evans. And myself, the Assistant Principal, Thaddeus Wilson.
I'd like to start off by saying welcome to the 2015 U.S. News and World Report, #1 high school in the state of Missouri. Or, should I say, welcome to a 2014 National Blue Ribbon Schools graduation ceremony. I think those were both great ways to welcome, but the one that I think that I like the most is welcome to Lincoln College Preparatory Academy, a school that is celebrating its 150th year as a school graduation ceremony. To the class of 2015, you have been the leaders of Lincoln, and it is most definitely a pat on your back for the part that you have played in Lincoln receiving the honors that have come. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in a round of applause for the hard work that these leaders have shown to Lincoln? Now, we all know that it takes a lot to help students get to this place. Sometimes that help comes in encouragement. Sometimes it comes by way of being there to support them through the tough times. Sometimes it takes pushing the students to keep moving forward while they're kicking and screaming because they don't want to do the hard work right then. It looks a lot of different ways, but it comes from the parents and guardians of these students. If you are a parent or guardian of the class of 2015, would you please stand? There's one other group that must be recognized. Without this group of people, we would not be here today celebrating this great accomplishment. Would the staff of Lincoln College Preparatory Academy please stand and be recognized? 1,037,250 minutes. Listen to that again. 1,037,250 minutes. That's the number of minutes, class of 2015, that you've been in school for the past 13 years. You have endured it. You have achieved. And tonight, we honor what you have accomplished. Thank you.
Good evening, fellow classmates, teachers, family, friends, and esteemed guests. Like some of my other classmates, I've attended Lincoln for 7 years. That's a really long time to be anywhere. I had just moved back to Kansas City a year before I was able to come to Lincoln Middle. It was in the 6th grade at Lincoln Middle where it all started. The boy-girl seating, the in-school dances, the in-school suspension room, the glorious lunchroom food, the start of an amazing family relationship between the whole class that only got bigger when our class had moved to be the first 8th graders at Lincoln High. It was a big change for everybody. However, it was at Lincoln High that I, and I'm sure many of my classmates can agree on, began to worry and experience the bigger, heavier textbooks, the importance of every test on our grades, where to park in the morning, what nights we would sleep on, and what nights we would lose sleep on, when the next pep rally or game would be, where we could buy a snack to settle our forever loud stomachs, the level of stress we would endure, the heartache from love and relationships, the arguments with friends that would occur, and so much more. Although there were many not-so-pretty memories, it wasn't all that bad. Lincoln has been there as we laughed with friends throughout its halls, cherished our achievements, became part of different organizations that helped us just be us. And Lincoln has been the bond that linked every one of us, classmates who are no longer with us here tonight, to be part of this Tiger family forever. Throughout these 7 years, I am pleased to say that I know myself better than when I first walked into the doors of Lincoln Middle. I have learned to remember our past teachers, Ms. McCormick, Mr. Conway, Ms. Bonnie, Ms. Roberts, Mr. Rowe, Ms. Goodman, and Dr. Oates, just to name a few, who have helped guide us on this path right now, along with our amazing staff currently at Lincoln. Also, I have learned to be grateful for every part of our lives. So moving to our high school a little sooner than we expected, not getting our 8th grade graduation, our first pep rally experience in the gym, friends leaving the school, and so many other moments, because those moments make this day so much more special. It's been a long time coming, am I right? When we look back, we thought we were so cool and that we knew everything about the world. Well, we now know that we really didn't know everything and that we're still super cool. But we wouldn't be who we are without those choices, encounters, and decisions we've made throughout the years. Every part of our past, as different as they may be, has led us to this point in time. We've created our own styles and became us, each and every unique graduate today. If you don't already know me, my name is Michelle Coffey. My family is sitting in the room today, and I couldn't be more grateful for the path that they have put me on to be where I am right now. I wanted to say thank you to them for everything they have sacrificed for me and all the love that they've given me throughout the years. I love you all. I want every one of my classmates to know that tonight isn't all that we have left of our high school lives. It's just our last entry, and our memories make this part of our lives. So go out and make tonight the best night of our lives. Because we made it. We made it to the finish line as Lincoln College Preparatory Academy High School graduating class of 2015. Thank you, Lincoln, for everything you have taught me, and good luck to my fellow classmates.
welcome again. It's very much an honor to have you, and what I'm going to read tonight is the accomplishments that the seniors have earned to take with them. Again, it's a proud honor and pleasure to have such tremendous individuals and young people in our building that can accomplish these things. As of May 1st, our seniors have been awarded $5,862,000 in scholarships and other competitive scholarship awards include the Horatio Alger Scholarship Award winner, Cerner Scholarship, Kansas City Rotary Club, Kansas City Kiwanis, Kansas City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, R.T. Cole's National Association Scholarship, and U.S. Department of Agriculture Scholarship. At this time, I want to recognize our early college academy students, Zaysher Gary, Melissa McNary, Daniel Reyes, and Tom Wynn. At this time, I'd like to have the 32 IB diploma candidates please stand to be recognized. The top 10% please stand. And we'd also like to have the Senior Advisory Committee please stand. We'd also like to acknowledge the fact that we have 35 successful Kaufman Scholarship Program completed. Students have earned the academic distinction of being a Kansas City Public Schools Pylon Award recipient for having a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or above. We have 3 graduates that will be serving in the branches of the U.S. military and continuing their education. And one of these has received an appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy. With that being said, the last thing that I want to make sure that they get before they leave, the whip. Congratulations.
Many people began extremely important announcements, but I never thought I'd make it, or I never thought I'd see the day. Well, with the consent from family, friends, and teachers, I hope that I can speak on behalf of many of us by saying we didn't give ourselves any other choice but to make it. And in other words, it was not a democracy.
I am one of 31 out of 105 just trying to stay alive to be singing the endless test. That's right, I think, therefore I weep. I think, therefore I do not sleep. I think, therefore I weep at the mentioning of history paper 3. I have never met a group of procrastinators quite like these. Yet, we still seem to pass tests on books we know we didn't even read. Sorry, Miss Raylan. But don't you worry, because our will to succeed is stronger than our hatred of IB. No one leaves anything called preparatory academy without hearing the letter I-B. Yes, we are the #1 school in Missouri. But I have to wonder, where is this going to get me? We too often act as if these test scores are a matter of life and death, whether as if attaining that lucky number 7 is our gateway to heaven. But all I see is whether I get a 6, 7, or 3. I'm not going to let these tests define me. All these numbers being thrown at us constantly, whether it be the ACT, SAT, or the infamous IB, a number will not be my legacy. The voice of this generation demands to be heard. So as we begin the rest of our lives, don't be afraid to share your thoughts and words, because your voice is what you make it. So as we sit here at the celebration of our education, I want you to remember.
Sit back, think, and remember of all of our endless years of education and what it has taught us. It's about that time that we realize the greatest knowledge is self. Self-knowledge, respect, and integrity. Note to self. Never, let me repeat, never forget where you come from. And do not be afraid to help those who will or those who already have. We have seen
The glory,
we have witnessed,
the flashing lights,
we aim for,
the good life,
because we are
stronger, champions.
and you,
Can't tell us nothing.
welcome to graduation. Congratulations, class of 2015. We are making a difference. Thank you.
Parents, families, and friends, this is an important night. This is a night that every student and family has been looking forward to for the past 13 school years. Every student should be able to hear their name read, and every family deserves to hear the name of their child read. With respect for every student and every family, we ask that you hold your applause till the end after every name has been read. Dr. Green, would you please join me at the podium? Would the candidates for graduation please rise? Dr. Green, On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of Lincoln College Preparatory Academy, it's my pleasure to present to you the candidates for graduation. They have met all the state and district requirements to be considered a graduate. Dr. Green, do you accept our graduating class of Lincoln College Preparatory Academy?
Thank you, Mr. Hessman. I do, and as in keeping with the tradition, I, as the superintendent and CEO of the Kansas City Public Schools, hereby certify that these seniors from Lincoln College Preparatory Academy have met all requirements set forth by the Kansas City Public Schools and the state of Missouri. To my board members, members of the board of the Kansas City Public Schools, do you accept my presentation of this class to you? So show you by raising of hand. Thank you. Therefore, by the power invested in me as the CEO and superintendent of the Kansas City Public Schools, I hereby declare this class of 2015 to be graduates of Lincoln College Preparatory.
Jasmine Alejandra. How long? Melissa McNerney. Song Win. Hannah Catherine Elanian. On Lee. Amna Bati. Vanessa Mendoza. Aaliyah Barrett. Aridasia Jamisha Walker. Patricia Milford. Marquisha Janelle Oliver. Dejan Heinzman. Ashley Denise Brown. Clark Yvonne Sykes. Brenda Janira Torres Munoz. Belinda Lisette Martinez. Caitlin Ashley Gibson. Marte Marshall. Amaria Wooten. Tran. Michaela McKay. Sydney Nicole Jones. Truly Lee. Lauren Edward Fulbright Oliver. Diego Bravo Robbins. Jacob Carabello. Vladimir Rodriguez. Sojourner Serene Crawford. Gilberto de Jesus Ortiz. Madeline Violet Sinclair. Cameron Vale Shirley G. Darla Gong. Max Copeland. Jake Clifford Oxley. Max Winter Von Schlemmer. Antoinette Miller. Stacy Renee Cynthia Lynn Hall. Jasmine Rose Henry. Alexa Massey. Jabari Maurice. Seth Fisher. Myla T.L. Martin. Alexis Yvonne. Yesenia Montoya Capetillo. Elena Loyacano Bustos. Evan Anthony Ekman. Andrew Rodan. Linda Liu. Rakaya Richardson. Toriana Michelle Kennedy. Beatrice Bowden. Danisha Chinese. Alize Delana Deja Lynette. Isaac Jeremiah. Armstrong. Sean David Timmons. Joshua Van Dam. Hadra Aaliyah Monet Burton. Idea Dominique Wood. Labria Yvonne. Latasha T. Ellis. Kiana Lachey Montagan. Dejanay Moreland. Elizabeth Mitchell. Jimmy Ray Wayne. King Austin Green. Jasmine Richardson. Deonica Adriana Monique Livingston. Blanca Esquivel. Eva Torres. Alex Donald. Dominique Marie Castro. Jose Ignacio Avalos Gomez. Kiana Joy Nelson Jones. Dominique McCrary. Glacier Gary. Deja Renee Shearman.
count of 3, please remove your tassels and turn them, take them from the right to the left, signifying their graduation. 1, 2, 3.
family members, staff, and distinguished guests. It is with much honor that I stand before you today as part of this class of 2015, and let me tell you, it has been a ride with them, an amazing one. So, just an off note before I get started, I know some of the students down below in the audience worry that my speech will be long, but I promise you it'll be as short and sweet as these supposed 4 years with you and the next 4 years of college. So, coming up here, I tried to think of what most of my classmates could relate to. What could I say to make this speech memorable, to make it stick with them? What could I give them to take something out of it? And that's something that should be relatively easy for a debater, but ironically, it's not. However, I simply thought of iPhones, which made me think of Steve Jobs. And consequently, this goes hand in hand with what I live by. Steve Jobs, despite his faults, is still considered a great innovator of our time. And he once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition." Now, as a Lincoln Tiger, I don't think any of us have problems with letting our voices get overridden. We let our peers know if we have something to say. Keep that. As we progress into the world, don't let your voices be drawn out. As we progress into our jobs, make sure you're doing what you love and not simply for the sake of money. Money is great and all, don't get me wrong, but don't let that rule your happiness. Live life for yourself and not just for the money. Be happy so that when you reflect upon your life, you know you've lived a fulfilling life. YOLO, everyone, I'm serious. People say that life isn't high school, but they're wrong in the sense that you'll always meet the same personalities you saw from high school. However, I believe that being at Lincoln, specifically being at Lincoln with you all, has prepared us and me for that. Besides the fact that we've been exposed to a large amount of personalities for over 7 days a week, 5 days a week, I hate to be here 7 days a week, no matter how much I love school, but 7 hours a week, 5 days, 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, for more than 4 years. I think that we've learned to adapt to other people's personalities. In addition to that, we've managed to form our own strong personalities, because we are able to do the most with the least. Disregarding any previous losses against the schools for more funding, we go back out and we give everything our all, and we get our wins. Let that be another lesson to take with you all. Tigers, we don't give up. We are champions. We have all of the power to change our lives or the world. We just have to be willing to recognize that power. I believe in every single one of you, and I'm proud to call every single one of you my classmates, and we have made it. We are getting our recognition, and as we disperse into the world, all I want to say is that it's been an honor learning alongside of you, and that I wish you all the happiest of lives. We all deserve that much. You only have one life, and you're the only one responsible for the choices you do or do not make. So to end the speech, I'd like to do a chant that we all know. Feel free to join along. But I believe that we'll, I believe that we'll succeed.
Friends, would you please join me one more time for one more round of applause for all of our graduates? As we bring this ceremony to a close, I ask that you all please stay seated and remain in the auditorium. We will be doing the recessional, and as we come down, the students will go all the way out, all the way downstairs. That's where you will be able to meet up with them after everyone is out. So again, please remain seated and wait for the graduates at reception. Thank you for coming out tonight.